Awesome! Awesome! Welcome, daywalkers, creatures of the night, my warriors, my brothers, and everybody else in between. Welcome back to the road to ruins on the infinite frequency. And I am, as always, your host, L.E.O. Lothbrock. Oh my God, it's good to be in the studio. There's an awful lot to catch up with you on. It's been a mixed bag over the last couple of months, but overall, absolutely sensational. So let me just check in with you guys first. How are you? What have you been up to? Please message and engage. Let's really push on. But if you do have any questions, if you've got anything that you wish to talk about, please ask. And if I can, I will. If I don't know, I'll see if I can find out. And if I can't, I will be honest and let you know. So I hope you've been practicing your meditations, your prayers, whilst you've been something up there. And I certainly hope the gods have been with you. That's definitely been with me. They continue to work by my side. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So what's been going on? What's new in my life? What's changed? Well, biggest thing is that I'm currently sat. I don't know. I've got some made. So one of them is that I'm now sitting in my own studio. It's not huge, but it's comfortable, and it is the area in which I do most of my planning about, if you like, an organisation. I'm not quite sure that's a word. And it's been awesome. It's taken a while. I've been decorating the whole area myself, and it's cozy, it's warm, and I can't believe 5 years ago I started not on a journey to the cupboard, and it has turned into something so much bigger. I am now, doing this podcast, and I hope to release my book in December, and I feel pretty blessed. But before I got to come on the air today, I have had a rough week or two. I unfortunately contracted pneumonia, which is a horrible experience, and anybody out there that's through it will know and understand exactly what it feels like. And the only way I can explain it, you can imagine, I don't like it, but I'm getting better at it. However, this time, I was lucky because I thought it was just a cold and I didn't want to go. And I was worried I was just doing silly. And actually, I went in, and like I say, at one point, as I breathed in, it felt like someone had shrink wrapped my lungs. I just couldn't get any oxygen or any air in. I was petrified, absolutely petrified. Didn't know what to do. Eventually, managed to get myself to the hospital because the ambulance was a 10-hour wait. And it's funny, the common voice, we just checked it and get yourself there because you're all quite close, which is true, 1.7 miles. But in that condition, it wasn't being fancy. But we did it. We went in, a hospital staff were being stagged. I went to the new Metropolitan Hospital Centre. And like I say, I'm not going to talk about the actual overall experience in there too much. Just going to say it's evident that NHS is massively under pressure right there. And that's their topics are something else to me. I just wish to live my life and get better. So I've been at home now, I think, a couple of days, whatever, 3 days. And the biggest thing was letting the head fog clear, which it has done that. So I'm all good. I'm on the mend, nearly finished my MRI, so I've taken a days, and then we're good to go. It's awesome. So, you could look at this, and I could look at this and be really negative and not take any lessons from it. And as you know, or may not. What I try to do with life now is I analyse and assess and try to see what the lessons or what I can learn, or if there's any way that I can improve myself. And then I'm just going to have to put it to. Oh, then. So, what have I done immediately? Well, immediately I stopped smoking. I quickly listed my day, or officially, if I didn't count the time in, it's only the time I came there. Because for me, that was when the choice happened. And do I have thoughts? Yes. Yes. I've been having thoughts all day yesterday. But the difference is, with the 5 years of under my belt and the 3 years full sobriety, I've learned tools which enable me to make choices and I'm finding it easier to stick to those things. And one of the things I've learned is, if you want to make a change, but you would like to keep your routine the same, in my experience, what I have to do is change the pattern of the same routine. So, for example, I had bricks clothing, and now I'm not smoking at all. With that, I've also decided to quit drinking coffee. You know, that's not like the zero tolerance of that. Like at the moment, it's just not good service to any purpose. So what do? If I drink coffee a lot, I need to do the drink. Awesome. You just heard I've moved on to fruit infusion teas, chamomile teas, herbal teas, and I am noticing my stress seems to be coming down incredibly slowly, but there's a difference. And so, like, the other day me and my friend go to a cafe normally, and I went there at 200 degrees. It's called absolute beautiful coffee. The staff there, the fantastic. They know what they're doing. And I went in there. Normally I'd sit outside. So the first thing I could change, I sit inside. Because if I'm outside, the pattern would be that my brain's in thinking, well, we normally have a cigarette here. Wait, this is, what are you not doing? So then the thoughts would work. So I bypassed the front, went straight in, went to order. First thing they went to it and do was my coffee. I said, oh no, I am sorry, I'll have a fruity tea. And you should have seen their perplexed look on their face, because I'm a creature of habit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If I like it, I'll continue to have it. So I genuinely, if I go places, once I've found something I like, I just stick with that. And so I went and sat down right at the opposite end and made myself comfortable. And that was the start of a whole new pattern within the same routine. So that's the sort of thing I mean. That's the sort of changes that we want to try and look at. We want to try and implement. That's the word I'm looking for. You'll have to bear with me a little bit today, because like I say, my brain's a bit foggy, a little bit all over the show. But I'm just loving it. And then what else has happened? Obviously, I think I told you I have a home, an actual apartment flat that is mine, you know. And I can't tell you, for anyone out there that is living temporary accommodations, hostels, hotels, anything like that, it is horrible. It's very, very difficult. You know what it's like. Nothing is ever yours. You can't even put a bit of you get told off for putting a bit of sellotape on the wall in case it pulls paint off. Not that there's any paint on the bloody wall in most old places, but that's not the point anyway. So yeah, life is good. So I'm sitting here in my studio within my flat. I've got Marnie moves fast asleep at the moment, by the way, for those of you who are wondering about my Marnie. She has been a godsend. She came to the hospital with me. See, she's my service dog. Now, I've been having big issues with lots of taxi firms and Uber. Uber's the worst one for this, but they are dealing with it with me. So all I'll say is, if you have a service dog, they cannot refuse the journey. And so I'm going to leave that there, because I don't know how much I can't say, and I don't want to cause any agreement as such. But so she's doing really well. She came with me to the hospital as well, which was awesome. As you can imagine, people were absolutely complex because it's not something they've probably seen ever. Uh, but there you go. This is the world we live in now. This is what it's. We live hard for each other as best we can. I hear you laughing. Most of us do. So just look for the good in the world. And if you don't like something, talk about it. Get it out there. Don't be frightened, because the more silent we are, the more compliant we are. And so here we are in my studio, my beautiful apartment, and that's just a very quick brief rundown of what I'm doing. I'm also working. So if you're in the Birmingham area and you struggle with homelessness or addictions or anything like this, there are super, super charities out there. There's a lot of help in the area. I have to say, for the support there, if you really are willing, it's there. There are some that aren't so great, and that's a shame, but that's life. There's two that I currently work with, and they are incredible. You've got Cypher, and when I say that, Cypher, the two that I've been working with lately, the two members of staff have been got she used to be my move on resettlement support worker when I was in and out of the emergency housing between their hostel. And then once I got settled here, she handed me over to a gentleman in L.E.O. Again, my support worker. And absolutely brilliant people. They work at my pace. They kind of push me. They understand my tenaciousness, which I love that word. That explains what tenacious was my psyche. And actually, I still have an English dictionary that she got me, and I love it. I love learning. I love taking on the knowledge, the information. The trouble is, I just, with the ADHD, the bipolar, and the other condition, it can be difficult to focus. But here's the thing. This podcast is the first thing in my entire life that I have followed through. And not just plodding along, doing the best, trying to do the bare minimum, but actually trying to push myself and be better every day than I was the day before. Now, obviously, I've had lots of breaks on and off the mic, and this comes with people go through when we're in recovery. Also, the mental health stuff. It can be brilliant one day and not so good the next. That's just life. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a brief break, and then I will do that. I will play a bit of music in between, and then I will resume after that one. So just sit tight, and I will be there. Awesome! Welcome, daywalkers, creatures of the night, my warriors, my brothers, and everybody else in between. Welcome back to the road to ruins on the infinite frequency. And I am, as always, your host, L.E.O. Lothbrock. Oh my God, it feels good to be in the studio. There's an awful lot to catch up with you. It's been a mixed bag over the last couple of months, but overall, absolutely sensational. So let me just check in with you, Lloyd Spurs. How are you? What have you been up to? please, please, please message and engage. Let's, really push on. But if you do have any questions, got anything that you wish to talk about, please ask. And if I can, I will. If I don't know, I'll see if I can find out. And if I can't, I will be honest. So I hope you've been practicing your meditations, your prayers whilst we've been up, whilst I've been up there. And I certainly hope the gods have been with you. It's definitely been with me. They continue to walk by my side. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So what's been going on? What's new in my life? What's changed? Well, the biggest thing is that I'm currently sucked. That's not the words. I don't know. I've got some made. So one of them is that I'm now sitting in my own studio. It's not huge, but it's comfortable, and it is the area in which I do most of my planning. I'm sure that's a word. And it's been awesome. It's taken a while. I painted and decorated the whole area myself, and it's cozy, it's warm, and I can't believe 5 years ago I started not on a journey to recovery, and it has turned into something so much bigger. I am now, doing this podcast, and I hope to release my book in December, and I feel pretty blessed. But before I got to come on to air today, I have had a rough week or two. I unfortunately contracted pneumonia, which is a horrible disease, and anybody out there that through it will know and understand exactly what it feels like. And the only way I can explain it, you can imagine, I don't like the first possibility like that, but I'm getting better at it. However, this time, I was lucky because I thought it was just a cold and I didn't want to go in. And I was worried I was just silly. And actually, I went in, let me honest, so at one point, as I breathed in, it felt like someone had shrink wrapped my lungs. I was petrified, absolutely petrified, didn't know what to do with my was. And eventually managed to get myself to the hospital because the ambulance was a 10-hour wait. And it's funny, the comment was, we just checked in and get yourself there before 5 close, which is true, 1.7 miles. But in that condition, it wasn't with offensive. But we did it. We went in a hospital staff were being stag. I went to the new Metropolitan Hospital in the centre. And like I say, I'm not going to talk about the actual overall experience in there too. I'm just going to say it's evident that NHS is massively under pressure right there. And that's their topics or something else to deal with. I just live by that and get better. So I've been at home now, I think, I don't know, a couple of days, whatever, 2-3 days. And the biggest thing was letting the head fog clear, which it has done. So I'm all good. I'm on the mend, nearly finished my FI, so I've got to take them a day, and then we're good to go. It's awesome. So, you could look at this, and I could look at this and be really negative and not take any lessons from it. And as you know, or may know, what I try to do with life now is I analyse and assess and try to see what the lesson is or what I can learn, or if there's any way that I can improve it. So, what have I done immediately? Well, immediately I stopped smoking. I quickly listed my day, or officially, I didn't count the time in. It's only for the time I came there, because for me that was when the choice happened. And do I have thoughts? Yes. I've been having thoughts all day yesterday. But the difference is, with the 5 years under my belt and the 3 years full uh, sobriety, I've learned tools which enable me to make choices for decisions, and I'm finding it easier to see the decisions. And one of the things I've learned is, if you want to make a change, but you would like to keep your routine the same, in my experience, what I have to do is change the pattern of the same routine. So, for example, I had risk focus, and now I'm not at all. With that, uh, I've also decided to quit drinking coffee. That's not like the zero tolerance of that. Like the motive is just not serving any purpose. So what do? If I drink coffee a lot, I need to get a drink. Awesome. Just I've moved on to fruit, PGD, chamomile teas, herbal teas, and I am noticing my stress seems to be coming down incredibly slowly, but there's a difference. And so, like, the other day, me and my friend go to a cafe normally, and I went there at 200 degrees, it's called. Absolute beautiful coffee. The staff there, they're fantastic. They know what they do. And I went in there. Normally, I'd sit outside. So the first thing I could change, I sit inside. Because if I'm outside, the pattern would be that my brain's then thinking, well, we normally have a cigarette in here. This is what are you not doing? So then the thoughts would. So I bypassed the front, went straight in, went to order. First thing they went for it, and he was like, my coffee. I'd say, oh no, I am sorry, I'll have a fruity tea. And you should have seen their perplexed look on their face, because I'm a creature of habit. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. If I like it, I'll continue to have it. So I genuinely, if I go places, once I've found something I like, I just stick with that. And so I went and sat down right at the opposite end and made myself comfortable. And that was the start of a whole new pattern within the same routine. So that's the sort of thing I mean. That's the sort of changes that we want to try and look at. We want to try and implement. That's the word I'm looking for. You'll have to bear with me a little bit today. Like I say, my brain's a bit foggy, a little bit all over the show. But finally, I'm just loving it. And then what else has happened? Obviously, I think I told you I home. I have a home, an actual apartment flat that is mine, and I can't tell you for anyone out there that is living temporary accommodation, hostels, hotel, anything like that. It is horrible. It's very, very difficult. You know what it's like. Nothing is ever yours. You can't even put a bit of. You get told off for putting a bit of sellotape on the wall in case it pulls paint off. Not that there's any paint on the bloody wall at most those places, but that's not the point anyway. So yeah, life is good. So I'm sitting here in my studio within my flat. I've got Marnie moves fast asleep at the moment. By the way, for those of you who are wondering about my Marnie move, she has been a godsend. She came to the hospital with me. See, she's my service dog. Now, I've been having big issues with with lots of taxi firms and Uber. Uber's the worst one for this, but they are dealing with the police. All I'll say is, if you have a service dog, they cannot refuse the journey. And so I'm going to leave that there because I don't know how much, and I can't say, and I don't want to. So she's doing really well. She came with me to the hospital as well. It was awesome. As you can imagine, people were absolutely flexed because it's not something they've really seen ever. But there you go. This is the world we're living now. This is the correct. We look after each other as best we can. I hear you laughing. Most of us do. So just look for the good in the world. And if you don't like something, talk about it. Get it out there. Don't be frightened, because the more silent we are, the more compliant we are. And so here we are in my studio, my beautiful apartment. And that's just a very quick brief rundown of what I'm doing. I'm also working, so if you're in the Birmingham area and you struggle with homelessness or addictions or anything like this that are super, super charities out there. There's a lot of help in the area. I have to say, for the support there, if you really are willing, it's there. There are some that aren't so great, and that's a shame, but that's life. There's two that I currently work with, and they are incredible. You've got Cypher, and when I say that, Cypher, the two that I've been working with lately, the two members of staff had got she used to be my move on resettlement support worker when I was in and out of the housing between their hostel. And then once I got settled here, she handed me over to a gentleman, L.E.O, again my support worker. And absolutely brilliant people. They work at my pace. They push me. They understand my tenaciousness, which I love that word. And that was explained to them what tenacious was by Sophia. And actually, I still have an English dictionary that she got me, and I love it. I love learning. I love taking on the knowledge, the information. But the trouble is, I just, with the ADHD, the bipolar, and the other conditions, it can be difficult to. But here's the thing: this podcast is the first thing in my entire life that I have followed through, and not just plodding along, doing the better, trying to do the bare minimum, but actually trying to push myself and be better every day than I was the day before. Now, obviously, I've had lots of breaks on and off the mic, and it's helped people go through with me of recovery. Also, the mental health stuff. It can be brilliant one day and not so good the next. That's just life. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a brief break, and then I will be back. I will play a bit of music in between, and then I will resume the video. So just sit tight, and I will be back. Oh, well, so what I'm going to do now is move into, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it's been like at my own place. I'm going to talk about the good things, the things I've struggled with, the things I've done to improve, and the areas that I may still need to. So, I guess the first thing that happens when you come off the street, and you get your own place for it's overwhelming. It's an incredible feeling, and that moment when I got the call to say, "This is happening. This is actually you are about to." Now, the first thing I want to say here is this didn't happen in that moment. That moment was a result of the last 5 years of absolute painstaking work that sometimes I've enjoyed, sometimes I haven't, sometimes I've found it exhausting, but I've never found it anything other than work. So I lose up my whole life. Yeah, so when you move in, it can be very overwhelming. But I remember the moment I come to have a look, I'll be honest, as soon as I saw the outside, I knew that I was going to like inside. What I wasn't ready for, what I didn't expect, what I didn't see coming in 100 billion gazillion years, was the fact it was beautiful. It's huge. And I've got a bar, a whole bar. I've got a kitchen. I've got a big, huge front room, which is obviously why I have my podcast in here, like my studio, sorry. I've got a sleeping area, which is a double bed in it. I've got a settee and like, in the spot, which is like a lounge. And I've also got a play area. And when I say play area, I'm talking about cognitive therapy. But we'll get to that. There's no. So you can imagine it's a big, big space. And so to have had nothing and to have been sleeping in a tent. And I didn't bring Marnie the first day I came out because I didn't want to stress her out in case we didn't get it. And the second we did get it, and we came up when it got over here, I opened the front door and she just ran up the stairs, running around, having a look around, sniffing everywhere, looking at everything, looking at me, looking at her, sniffing. It was like she knew. She bloody knew. I mean, we've moved so many times, so I would assume that if I had my aura on my style, my reaction, she picks up on it. I mean, she is an emotional support dog, so she knows me better than I know myself. And I just looked at her and I said, "Are you happy?" And she just literally flopped on her back as she does, legs in the air, rub my belly, I love it, Daddy, I love it. And it was just a beautiful moment that I got to share with my companion, with my, oh God, angel. I have to say, if you are considering getting a dog, I will tell you it's the one of the most we would ever do, because she has got me through everything. She's been through hell and back, and for me, this flat, it was if my gift to her, I say home, the place she finally got a bit where. Sorry, I'll get a bit emotional. She's been through so much, but she didn't give in. She never left my side. She never wanted to. And I will be grateful. And so we moved in. We started just trying to. So I moved in, and all the advice I was getting, and I completely agreed. You have to take it slow, take my time. And I agree. And these things I want to do. I don't take it slow, but I struggle now because once I get an idea, I just run with it. And I don't, it's pretty not even that I can't switch off. It's that I don't want to. I am enjoying the knowledge I'm gaining. Now remember, I am completely uneducated. I think the highest GCSE grade I got was a double D in science and the rest was a complete failure. I did go on to do some professional education, as in driving licenses, but nothing extensive. There's been no college, no university. My education is company like itself. 5 years ago, I couldn't even read and write, not properly. And today, I can do many, many things, and it's just wonderful. So then we started to settle in, and I was trying to think about decorating ideas. And then I had a vision of the colour. When we got the colour, started painting. Well, from that moment, that was it. My brain went into full steam ahead. We ain't resting. We ain't sitting down. Get your ass up. Let's go, 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 go. And that's what we did. Me and Marnie just kept decorating, painting, creating, trying ideas. And I'm so happy with all of it. I'm immensely happy with everything I've done, except the kitchen. The colour coordination in there didn't quite work, but I've left it. And the reason I've left it is because I don't see that as a failure. That's my first effort in there, and there'll be more. And everywhere else is absolutely incredible. And when I look around, I don't understand or know what happened, but I've changed over time. I'm surrounded by how gentle, soft coloured. I used a soft grey, soft blue. I've got lovely POW furniture as well. I was donated an awful lot of places. I've also picked up some stuff from, along the way. I've got a couple of things, charity shop. I've found things I found a phone in the street. I found, and it's an old antique one. It was brilliant. My neighbour was throwing it away. And I said, "Oh, you throwing that away?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, can I have it, please?" She said, "It doesn't work." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Do mine no, and I still have it." She said, "Why would you want it?" I said, "Because I like it, and I just like to have it as a display, because it's like an old antique." It's beautiful. And she was a bit perplexed, but yeah, of course she let me. And that now sits on one of my walls by Odin, so if Odin ever feels he needs. And so yeah, we started painting, decorating, we've got it all done. The house now, the flat, it's not, see, I don't see my home as just a home. It's my temple. It's my place of serenity. It's the place where I get to retreat from the outside world now. And I don't have to go out. I don't have to, I don't have people, room check. Oh, sorry, give me 5 minutes. No, we're coming in. I don't have any of that now. And don't forget, for absolutely, what is it, at least the last year, 2 years, every place I was getting kicked out of and evicted from. And there's a lot. And I'm not saying I wasn't at fault for some of them. And I'm not saying that I was a brilliant tenant. Of course not, because I'm in a difficult spot like many of us are or were. But I kept being told I needed more support than anyone could offer. So I'd get kicked out. They couldn't help me. I'd be moved on. And this was a continuing rotating doors. 1 minute I'm in, 1 minute I'm out, 1 minute I'm in, 1 minute I'm out. But like I say, the absolute reoccurring thing is all of these were bases with telling the council I needed more support. But the problem is, once they do that, there is no other support. This next level of support they tell you need, when you ask where it is, it doesn't exist, because it's just designed for their paperwork, so that now when I go back and say, "Hang on a minute, sorry mate, no, you need more support, you've done X, Y, Z," and it's not necessarily the best system. And I tell you what sucks for them. 2 months in, I'm paying my bills on time. I'm engaging as always with all of my support. I am actually helping others even more than I ever was before. I don't say that to brag. The point I'm making here is that now I have had zero support. That's not true. I've not had any more support than I've had over the last few years. And what I will say, my housing association, citizens, oh my God, they're brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. But yeah, these people that were saying I needed a specialised extra help, I've done this on my own. I always said I just needed somebody to give me some time and space. So yeah, it's incredible. What can I say? I've got some Christmas decorations up already. I've got my Christmas tree in the studio, and we are absolutely flying. We're on to some. Sorry. Hello. Oh, sorry. I lost the mic there for a minute. I don't know what happened. See, these are the joys of working with new equipment, and you get to learn as you go. Oh, so I'm just going to take another break. Just sit right there. Again, I'm going to play a little bit of music in between for you. All of the music in today's show, all of the instrumentals, has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. You can find his free royalty-free music online, and all I'd ask at the arse is that you just credit him with obviously the work, because we're so lucky to have people like this doing these things, because it's the only way we're going to change, and this is already changing the monopoly that people had on music, and it's brilliant, because music it belongs to everybody. Nobody should own things. Anyway, that's again another story. So yeah, let me just take a quick break, and I will be back, and then we'll just keep going. And I hope you enjoyed the show. When I come back, I'm going to tell you about the things I'm planning to do there are some big changes coming. There are some exciting changes coming, and it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned, don't disappear. And if you want to, just as a suggestion, if you're looking for a stocking filler for Christmas, just go and check out well, it might be too late to get the orders in for Christmas, but to give you an idea, one of the people I work very closely with in my recovery, 3D cup lady, have a look. She molds and makes all of these cups herself, and it's absolutely incredible. She's over in the United States and does very, very well. So she's brilliant at customers and her service. And so it's just an idea for, gifts and things. So the other thing I'll be doing is just obviously recommending faces or just telling you what services are available, which ones I've used, which ones I know. I won't ever say about the ones, I won't ever go too deep into bad experiences. I would say, look, I don't go to this place for X, Y, and Z. But it's not about defamation. It's just about giving people an opinion. And remember, everything you hear on this podcast is purely educational and entertainment purposes only. I do not know anything. I have no qualifications. I have no purpose other than to be of service. Enjoy the music. I'll be right back. Welcome back again. So, I hope you enjoyed that music, again by Kevin McLeod. So, I was going to tell you about what was coming up, but before I do that, I'd like to just continue talking about what else I'm doing, setting up my hybrid world. Because there's been some huge developments. The fact that I paid the field on time and even paid them at full is incredible. And that comes with a sense of achievement, and I'm proud of the band that I am now. What else? Just keeping my flat clean. So the other problem I had for years, my whole life as far as I remember, is that I always lived in a complete bomb zone. And it was a true reflection of what was going on in my head, obviously. But I did not expect that to change on its own. And I guess that's what happens when you've got something that's yours. You're going to look after it better. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but it's definitely what's happened for me. But in gaining respect for my own practice, it's given me the respect I never had for other people's. I understand why it's difficult to put people up. I couldn't do it. I would want to. So that was a real ego check. Like, so I just get the other food quickly in the past when I'll be about to use it, I use it. No, you've got this, that you won't leave it beside the floor. No, why would that? I was a raging alcoholic addict, not nice. And so once, having my own spot, it's incredible. I hoover, I actually clean, I wipe the side, even this thing, gentlemen, I even pick the shit up and wipe underneath. I never used to. My stepmum, if she's listening, used to pay me to clean, bless her, and I wished I'd done a better job, because it was and she called it man's cleaning, and it was, I was useless at it. But she never moaned. She was teaching me discipline back then. So that's been awesome. Then there's the food. I've gone from eating absolute crap to having a fridge full of healthy products. I don't have any crisps in the house. I don't have any chocolate. I don't have any. I don't have any. What you know? I call it junk food. You might call it goodies. My goodies are the strawberries, the apples, the bananas. I said that funny. But yeah, that's been awesome and just in healthier. Now this is a new development. This isn't something that happened straight away. Not at all. I was eating processed cheap old food, but it was taking its toll. So yeah, it's just incredible. One of the things I did really struggle with my hygiene, washing. So once you've been living on the streets and in and out of these hostels, where sometimes it's hot water, sometimes it's not, sometimes you get somewhere, sometimes you can't. Washing, showering, keeping clean becomes secondary, maybe lower list down the list. Because when I was homeless, again in Birmingham, you're very blessed because on a Thursday, I think it used to be a Tuesday, Thursday. I think it's either it's a Tuesday morning now. Over at a place called Pigeon Park, they bring over a shower once a week, but it meant that I could have a wash once a week. Trouble is, I'd done that for so long, it becomes second nature to just have a shower once, maybe twice every 2 weeks. Because although they do it every week, I wasn't always able to get there. That's nothing to do with them. I'm absolutely grateful to those people. It's been incredible. So yeah, the hygiene was difficult to get my head around. So I thought, what can I do? How can I get around this? And that's what led me to blitz in my bathroom and getting it to a place that I wanted to be. Because I kept trying. I just didn't go in there. I didn't like it. It just felt like a nothing space. And then I changed it up. Put the barbie paper up on the wall, did the floor, laminate, did a few other bits, painted it with that lovely soft grey that it's called this. And it became instantly a place that I wanted to go. So now there's candles in there, there's ornaments, I put my touch. And since doing that, I do bath nearly every other day, which is awesome. I do shower every day, every morning. Because I don't have a proper shower, I can't have one in the bath that I've got. I could, but I'd have to tile all the way up my walls, which I will do, but not yet. That's not so much active yet. I just want to set it. So yeah, by changing the environment, it changed my pattern again, you see. It changed my thinking. Because before I changed that, I was going in there thinking about all the rest of it. I can't explain it. It's a mental block. For those of you that don't understand, I accept that. I'm just going to accept that you don't do that. That's cool. But yeah, so once I changed that environment, it meant there's a new reason to go in there because I want to try it out. And because that first experience is beautiful. Now, anytime I do something new, the first time, I incorporate a ritual in it. Now, at first, these rituals are very basic, very easy. Just, light a candle, welcome your higher power, God, whatever you wish into atmosphere, experience you can. And I found that since I do that, I have a much better time within that space or better results when I'm doing it. So it is a very enjoyable journey that I've at the moment. Yeah. It's just about building new habits and learning how to live. I haven't lived for years. And you're going to be like, what are you on about? I haven't. I've been on survival mode. And probably my whole entire life. Just trying to survive, just trying to get to the next day. Hoping there's something hoping that it won't last forever. But never really actually doing anything about it. I'll say that again, but never really doing anything about it. It was only when I started to look at myself and look inwards that I was able to change. And since I've been here, I do live like that. I live it very well. I am blessed with a big fellowship. I'm blessed with people I can be, and people I can ask for help. Oops, sorry. I'm just, yeah, truly in a good place. So the other thing that would come from getting my own place is the community. Now I'm absolutely blessed because not only is my flat gorgeous, everybody in the building is absolutely lovely. They've welcomed me. They've made me feel very comfortable, and none of them were seen at all to be put off by the size, by the massive dog. In fact, the kids all love the dog. They always want to say hello to Father, which is beautiful. And she, of course, loves it. Wagging away. It's beautiful. And then with this is something else is happening. I'm becoming part of an area. Now, I must say that the funny thing about where I am is 3 years ago when I sold a terminal, this is the area that I was living in to start with. And it's funny that I'm back here because it was going well when I first moved in. Then there was an incident again in that emergency house, and I got, in my opinion, utterly unfair. Again, we'll get to all of those another day. And so I'm now back in that same area, and it's beautiful because I already knew a few years, and I'm becoming part of the area. I'm being seen differently. You know, I'm walking with stability. There's no more uncertainty about my days ahead. You know, there's no more uncertainty about the things I'm going to do. And the community is receiving very, very well. There's a church literally 2 minutes walk from my house. They welcomed me on the first day I was walking most of the street. And obviously I accepted it, and I went, and every now and then I go along now on that Saturday, that's now. I believe my God's those before, but I do. I've got no grief with any other. I enjoy learning about religions, but I'm not a religious man myself. I'm a spiritual man. There's a difference. But we'll get to that. I'm also got to go back to help out at the food bank that I help out every now and then. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to do that one day a week, maybe every once a month, just because I want to continue giving back to what. And it's pretty awesome. So give me 1 second. I've just got to take a jump off of here. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, so I've been in, I have stability. I have the foundation. I can live, basically. I don't have to worry about it. I can, and I know that there are communities out there that I can turn to that will help. I do just want to talk about another group a group of individuals that have helped me. And that actually was some of the town security in the city centre. Now, let's not BS each other. When I first moved to Birmingham, I was difficult, petulant at times, abusive, definitely, unfair, unkind. I was projecting everything I had felt the world was being back on it. But in actual fact, what was happening, the world was reacting how I was. But anyway, these security guards didn't stop. They didn't, harass me. They saw something. I can't explain. They must have saw something else in me that I never saw. And this one security guard just said to me, out of kindness, have you thought about doing the big issue? Now, obviously, at that moment, I turned around and looked at us. You're taking the piss. Why don't you just take the way and just leave it? And they did. Off they went. It's fine real fine. And I had then had 2 weeks of absolute hell. And I went back to that vibe the next time I saw it. And straight away I said, please, I'm ready. And in that single act of kindness from him, and in me being willing to swallow my ego, my pride, because that's all it was. I was able to go with the big issue because he recommended that I go, and I've said this to them when I got there. That's brilliant. Give you an interview now if you want. Yes, actually, you do have to be interviewed to the big issue. I don't think society realises what the big issue is. I'll give you a free prescription. It's basically a magazine that homeless people buy it for £2. And I think I think they buy it for £1, then they sell it for £2. At the time, I think mine were £2. I buy them for 2, then you sell it for 4. I did that for a few months, and it was brilliant. It gives you a way of not begging, not putting your hand out, but you're offering a service. Is it easy to sell them? No. No, of course it's not. Because a lot of people don't know what the magazine is. Some of us selling it may not be as presentable as we should. There were many different things with it. But overall, I mean, the big issue is absolute immense brilliance. It was been the foundation that pushed me on. And so I just want to thank that security team. I continually engage with them when I go into the city centre now, as I do with all authorities. Police in Birmingham, I think, are pretty good overall. I've had some really good encounters, and I've had some not so good encounters. I won't give names. I could. There's one in particular, but he got pushed in the cell. No, I shouldn't have. That's terrible. It's really bad. So we'll move on for that. I don't know get to God's sake. But yeah, you can see. So all of this stuff is happening because I'm putting in the work. I'm willing to get down and dirty and actually look at myself. And because I've done that, and I've been working steps and programs and spiritual programs and just you name it, I've tried everything and I love it. I'm blessed. I now have my own program. I now have my own routine. I now have my own spiritual awareness. I have my own temple that I come and worship. I forgot to say that I've also got a temple but it's only a small section of the room, but it is my temple. It has been just incredible, this journey. And settling into an actual community, you must just wicked. I'm just going to take another break, and then when we come back, I will what I'm going to go into, because we've got to talk about what's coming up. That's for you. I think I should go into some charities a bit more, just maybe tell you about. We can't tell you to say why let's check now. And then I've got some huge news about going live. I hope you enjoyed that again. So, some of the charities out there that can help you, you've got a site, you've got a new one for divers, absolutely brilliant. They're really good. They're absolutely in their infancy, but they've been helping me the last 2 years, maybe. But yeah, I think it's 2 years, and I have built some incredible friendships with some of their volunteers. The the founder of the CIC, so it's called Divers CIC Community, and the founder has been immense. And even when I'd reached out and felt ignored, he got in touch with me, apologised, and just has been immense. And just the other day, he reached out just after anything I need. And it's awesome. And I get to, I'm going to get to work with these guys and these charities that help me in a different capacity going forward. Instead of going and then draining the services, I'm going to be able to provide some services for it, which is, it's incredible. It's exciting. It's encouraging. So that's awesome. Other charities that I would recommend. Well, there you go. I said there's lots out there. They're the two at the moment that stand out for me. I will come back with a list. I'll get numbers, etc., and in the next show or over the next week or so, I'll try and get something up. But yeah, just there are things out there. And those two charities I find are probably the best at what I've doing at the moment. So if you can go down there, if you're homeless, you have to be without an abode. You can go down there. They will feed you. They'll clothe you. They'll let you. Like when I say clothe you, think of quite spare clothes. There's shower facilities there. You can chuck the name down. You can have a shower there. Then they're open Monday to Friday. I can't remember the opening time. But always worth going down. If you're homeless, they do have a lady that comes to help people. If you have a dog, do not go to this lady. They are, I don't know. I'm hoping the laws are going to change, because having a dog, it's always resulted in you can either give up your dog or get house, or keep your dog and stay on the street, which is horrible, because then really what they're doing is not just punishing you for having a dog. And for me, it's a support dog. They're punishing the animal. And they wonder, why dogs end up in bad situations, in environments where they're not cared for or looked after, because the people that truly would look after them aren't allowed to have them. Anyway, we'll move on. So that's that side of it. So I will come back and get some more updates and information on what stuff is out there for you. So we are going to move into a little section here. I'm going to tell you about what's coming up. So, are you ready? I am going to be going live. Yes, I say that again. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to try. I don't know what. I was meant to be doing it already, but one thing I would deal with this, everything else. I'm being told I shouldn't even be doing too much now, and I'm trying not to. I think it's about an hour and something show already, but I can't help myself. So what I'm going to do is, the format's going to be a talk show, like talk radio station, and it's going to be L.E.O. Lothbrock style, of course. I don't do anything normally. I don't do anything in the traditional sense of the way, even the podcast. From the moment I set up to now, everybody's told me the way you do it, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. So, and I've just persevered. Sometimes you have to shut out the noise and just nod and smile and say, "Oh, thank you very much for that idea. That's a brilliant idea." And then you can sort of take it on off. More often than not, the ideas were left exactly where I'd obviously done them. So yeah, I'm going to do it Monday to Friday for definite. I am looking at time slots. So if any of you have a suggestion when you are free, when you've got lots of time spare, because you're my core listeners. Don't forget this. You have been with me from the beginning. I am not forgetting you. Never, ever. There are, I've got my gypsy warrior out there who has tuned into every single show since I've been going. And, homie, I see you. I thank you. And we'll continue doing this work together. So please, your opinions matter to me, especially now, because this is the phase where we're going to mold what the show's going to become. So I will keep you updated. I will do some social media posts, which it's not that I'm not great at. I wish it wasn't necessary, maybe, but it's also, once I start getting into the thing of learning how to do the little flips and whatever, I'm sure that's going to take my ADHD brain on a whirlwind. So it's things to look forward to. But yeah, we definitely want to expand. I think I want to do the show in the morning, but then I may end up doing a whole day show. I think I can record for four hours, but that'll be plenty. And then I want to do more to, do another 4 after. But yeah, just any ideas, get back to me. Let me know what works for you. I'm thinking sort of afternoon UK time going into early evening, because then I catch the afternoon in across Europe, and then over states and other areas I would be watching them board. And of course there'll be faces I'm catching in the evening. I don't know. I'm just blessed to have people listening from wide and far, and all that tells me is that we all need to and share and grow and develop together. So I'm looking forward to it. And I had no equipment at one point. I had no listeners at one point. I definitely had no confidence in my ability to give work. That's not true. I did believe in the first 3 months I'd see Joe Rogan. And I became, I am L.E.O. Lothbrock. So make of that as real. And I just kept showing up. And I'm not sure of the segment lineups yet, but there will be some different segments. I'm going to see. Sorry. I'm exhausted. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, my warriors, my day walkers, my creature of the night, my warrior wanderers, everybody in between. I think I'm going to have to take a break and just have a rest. I don't want to push myself too far, because I don't want to keep having breaks away from the show, but I'm feeding it now. I'm yawning. I'm tired. I'm going to go and have something. Maybe have a lay down. Yes, I know. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and I want to have a lay down. Yeah, I've been up since 6 o'clock. So, thank you so much for tuning back in. Please bear with me. Please spread it. Please let people know. And the radio show is coming now. I can't wait for this. I think this has a real big potential, because I can engage with you guys live. We can have people calling in. You will then be able to shape the show that you would like. I'm happy to work within the parameters that you wish. But obviously, there may be times when I have my own take on things. But overall, I'm to listen, and let's see where we can take this. Again, if you've got a business or any services you offer, feel free to let me know. Put a comment in the box, because then once I start getting some comments, I'm just trying to set up the website at the moment. That'll probably be next week. But yeah, I want to start helping businesses and people, and my plan going forward is to advertise and promote my friends and family businesses. By family, I mean my tribe. So yeah, if you want to do that, let me know. And I really hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm so grateful that I've got people coming back. I'm sorry for the absence, and let's just keep walking this beautiful journey together. I'm just going to thank you one more time. And I'm going to bid you goodbye. Have a beautiful day. L.E.O. Lothbrock. This was the Lothbrocks.